Wow, that was a very hectic day today. I mean, I was here about half a day, and there were so many things going on I have to explain. The first thing I did do today is the Jolly Trolley. Now, the Jolly Trolley is where I provided all the food and the drinks. Usually all the patients, family members request these drinks because the reason why they request these drinks is one is just to comfort themselves so they don't get too worried. But also another reason why is I only just discovered it today was in fact related to, if you may realize that lemonade and soda, they're all fizzy drinks. But what the point of fizzy drinks is to avoid any nausea feeling inside. So that's why lemonade and dry ginger ale as well as Coke, they're all very popular drinks here. So that's how which I realized that it was actually a very interesting thought that I actually asked my volunteer buddy today. So that's what I discovered it, and that was just the first task that I did. The next task I did was a brand new task I never done before, and that is to do the barbecue at the mental health unit in River Glen. Now, in that barbecue, what I did was that I actually did serve food and also drinks. Now, there was particularly one, I would say, patient for this case, is where she's mostly very blind, but then she has very good audio, has good auditory sense. So what I did actually decided to do was to read the news, physical newspaper, and then I actually decided to read into the main news. For example, Alan Tudge today had resigned, as well as Vladimir Putin with the MH17 issue, and a couple of other like the Istanbul, Turkey earthquake. So these are some of the common headlines today that I actually read to her. And I also served the barbecue with her, and also served barbecue to other patients and as well as nurses and staff. I did serve apple and orange juice. A lot of the, I would say, patients, they love to actually get juice. When I ask them, do you want any apple juice or orange juice, they mostly request apple juice. And I realized that they all want something refreshing to drink. And there was particularly one patient who I believe what I can see from her, she looks a bit confused as to what's going on. So I believe she looks a bit like I am, and I asked if she can speak Mandarin, and she does. And I asked Mandarin, and she completely understood from there. So it's very important to learn another language. And as I learned about the idea is to learn many languages to, I would say, establish a connection, asking the patient what they requested for. I mean, the volunteer coordinator actually saw me doing that, and she asked, it's very useful to actually learn another language. So that's why I think it's very, I would say I'm very good at using different types of languages, and as well as the ability to communicate through this. Also, this is the second task I did, and the third task and the final one today I did was the survey. Now for the surveys, this is actually the first time I did it all by myself. It was, I would say, a little bit challenging, first of all, because I have to do it all entirely. It was a bit out of my comfort zone. But then I realized that I got a little bit adapted to it once I asked the patients about the questions on the surveys, which is to ask if they really enjoyed this experience or is there any complaints that received. Thankfully, no complaints were received. I'm quite happy with that. A lot of people did say that the experience here was very lovely to see. So that's a very positive news, I have to say. And they're very Greenwich Hospital, their support is absolutely top-notch. And I can definitely see how, especially there was one, I was a patient who explained that the doctors gave them confidence, and that's a very vital role to say. And it's what we bring here as volunteers also with the other allied health professionals and doctors and nurses, is to bring the confidence to patients that they can be recovering very well. So that's a very key important tool that I learned about today. Now, a little bit more extra is that I actually did do an extra task, and that is to guide through a patient to go around to explore here. Now, because nurses are all so busy committed, they were very thankful that I was able to support them. And yes, I cannot imagine how stressed they are at the moment. And I guide through a patient into the gardens here, as you can see a little bit behind here, as well as at the front. And the garden itself, he really enjoyed the view. I actually took him on a wheelchair, and it almost feels like I was actually with my grandmother at the same time. Now, my grandmother, she is a bit of a similar condition, and I always imagine myself trying to lead my grandmother to seeing the surroundings. And that's what I brought today, and that brought a lot of joy. And they said they really enjoyed the view, so that's very amazing for me to express my emotions. That's why I did commit it to my grandmother. So that's how I implemented all of this today. It's absolutely a very lengthy day for me, but I think this is the most valuable experience I have done. And thank you for listening to this.